Good morning, guys. It is September 11th here, a little bit of a bad day in American history, so take the time to remember those things that happen. But moving forward from that, I'm fishing here with somebody named Alex. I'm gonna show him some stuff here at Lake the Ozarks. He's got a place up here, so that'll be fun. It's looking overcast. It just finished raining here, and water temp is about 80. Nathan went fishing yesterday. They had a tournament. They fished down in the Glaze area though. Wasn't very good results for him, a lot of shorts, but you'll see that in his video. So we're gonna go around, toss top water a little bit, then I think I'm gonna focus back at creeks and stuff around docks. I got a jig, a brush hog. I do have a whopper plopper on if we toss a little top water, and then a 10-inch worm, and probably break out a shaky head. If the docks aren't working, looking in brush piles about midway back. Not too much should have changed, but with these little bit cooler nights, some of this rain coming in, I think that will help get some fish back in the shallow areas. Now, if we just get the sun to come out to help position the fish a little bit better around these docks, that would be good. So we'll see what we get. In these shallow docks. Now, I do think some fish do move back. Fish that people catch that are just oh boy, that are just first little one on a brush hog this morning. Yeah. And he didn't look good, so I put him in the I put him back in the lake, and I was like, oh man. Number 2 on a brush hog, just flipping very back of a cove here. Got a little rain overnight, and I honestly thought there'd be a little bit more runoff back here, but 3. Alex got 1, I've got 2. He knew I was going to the lake today. Short one on a jig behind the dock, kind of off of a main lake point though. So that's a little something we might try here. We're fishing a few main lake points, then we're gonna go hit up some more shallow stuff. But
nice.
yeah, come on. Here's one. Bit it on the fall.
All right.
Not a big one, no. Not big at all. Kind of just suspended out here. If you can see them right here. Just over nothing.
All right.
Little spotted bass.
All right.
Look at this guy. If fish had legs, he'd have long legs. Skinny but long.
Before I even decided what to do with it, it's already going.
There's a keeper.
Oh, you got one?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So, there's a nice 2.5 pounder, maybe close to 3, but
Here's one. That one? Beautiful.
another keeper. Nothing spectacularly huge, but they're fun to catch.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Another keeper here at least. They've been about all the same size. This one's, I guess, probably the smaller of them, but he's missing an eyeball, but he can still eat. Caught him all the way behind the dock in the shallowest part. There's a little float. I'll actually show you. Caught him right here. There's a little walkway coming across with the float. Skipped underneath on the shady side, and that's where it was.
Got it?
Big. Another one flipping here. He's kind of got a little belly on him, doesn't he? A little plump.
Got it?
Yep. It's a little chunky. He'd be. I don't know if he's a keeper or not. Finishing the day off catching a couple crappie, having some fun. All right, so we didn't do too bad fishing. We had phenomenal weather though. Couldn't ask for a better day. There's hardly any boat traffic out there. It truly started to feel like it's fall, but as I'm filming this now again, just a few days later after our trip, the weather is poking back up into the 90s. It's going to be really hot again, feel like summertime. So it is what it is. You know, it's just kind of the seasons. But as it does cool down, the water temperature will eventually kind of fall down and that shallow bite will get better. I do know the reports have been from some of the tournaments, like a lot of people have been running up the river and the shallow bite's been pretty good up there. So usually what happens is like the river is kind of further ahead and then it kind of works its way down the lake. So like it'll get to the lower end kind of area by the dam last. But that's mostly what we did, is just kind of skipping behind the backside of shallower docks and the backs of creeks and stuff. We are starting to see some more bait balls with shad and stuff going back in there, but it's not a ton of them yet. The water temp was still 80 degrees on the lower end, and I'd say after this weekend back up into the 90s, it'll bump it back up again. But we caught a couple fish too, kind of behind docks, but on the main lake almost, so it's just really close to deep water. So that's always something to keep in mind. We actually didn't really go back around that again. Thinking back of it, I kind of wish I would have, because I think we could maybe had some big bites there. But the Zoom brush hog or a jig were kind of the main players of the day, although it did seem like they were biting the brush hog a little bit better. But kind of what I was telling Alex is I'm not really sure if it matters what the bait is, you know, if it's a jig or a brush hog, if they're going to bite one better than the other. Sometimes it seems like they do, but I think it's mostly just getting that bait in front of the fish, and there's kind of just a reaction bite. Most of my bites were I'd flip it or skip it into an area, it hit the bottom, I might hop it once, and then I got bit. I think I only had one fish eat it on the fall, but for the most part, it was in there, and then it was really quick bite. So I wasn't dragging it around too much, taking a whole lot of time. It was mostly just getting in those shady areas, and they're gonna bite it or they're not. We did have a couple other fish dragging worms and stuff alongside of docks, mostly like around secondary points or just kind of in no man's lane, what I call it, just in between stretches, just dragging a worm down the edge. Sometimes there's brush involved, sometimes there wasn't. But that's still a solid way to, you know, catch some quality fish right now. So eventually the water will cool down. We'll get into a little bit better of a fall pattern. Right now it's just kind of in that transition mode, and the weather bouncing back and forth isn't really helping the fish make up their minds at all. So I don't think I'll be able to fish this weekend. I have some stuff going on. But the following weekends after that, for the next 3 weekends, I think I'll be fishing. But next week I kind of have a video on the fall migration as far as shad, bass, other fish. Why do they move shallow? Do they all move shallow? And kind of some other ways just to dissect the fall transition period and help get some more fish in the boat. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope it helps. If you're going up to the lake, you kind of have a little starting point of what do you want to do, and we'll stay tuned for some more content.